Engineer John Mosonek, who is the Principal Secretary in charge of infrastructure in the Ministry of Roads and Public Works, ahead of TICAD. And as you know, today there's a special session on infrastructure projects within Africa, and he'll be just updating us on some of the key areas of discussion. Many thanks, Bona PS, for making time. First things first, so far, what does this meeting hope to achieve that you're having currently?
All right, thank you very much. This meeting is, the key theme actually is high quality infrastructure. And mainly we are looking at various transport infrastructure projects. And right from airports, we are looking at the ports, we are looking at roads and everything. Now, the main objective of this conference is mainly to exchange ideas between Japanese experience and Kenyans and African development, infrastructure development kind of projects. And as you see this morning, we have started the keynote speeches from various ministers from Africa, from Tanzania, from Ethiopia, and so on. And then apart from that, the next session actually will be getting experience from Japanese contractors and also policy government ministers so that we can be able to exchange the ideas. And I think this is a very, very important conference because we'll be sharing the experience. And apart from that, Japanese contractors are looking at opportunities within the African market, especially in infrastructure, where they can be able to develop and finance and roll out the infrastructure projects.
PS, just appraise us on some of the key projects that Kenya is undertaking in conjunction with Japan, and are we likely to see the portfolio increase after TICAD?
Yeah, correct. I think if you look at, there are many, many contractors who have come here from Japan, and I can estimate close to about 20 or so or more. And there's various kind of disciplines. They are experienced in road construction, they are experienced in port, all the kind of infrastructure projects, and also apart also energy infrastructure projects. Now, in road projects, of course, you remember the other day we launched one of the projects which is actually funded by JICA, and the contractor there is Japanese. They've been doing also about a project in Port of Mombasa, the development kind of program. So they're fully participated in that area. And apart from that also, we have roads within Mombasa area which are being done, financed by China. So I would say we have had various contractors in road infrastructure. We had Nippon, we have Kyoko, which are doing there, and also many others. So I expect, again, I'm looking forward again, as a result of this seminar, there'll be a lot of Japanese kind of business. And you remember, after this conference, later there'll be what we call business kind of matching, that is between the contractors and various sectors within infrastructure projects.
Bona PS, just shed some light to us to understand the worth of projects coming through, especially from Japan to Kenya. I know a number of projects have been done, including the port expansion project, the second container terminal. Of course, there's also the roads project. We did see you launch the other day with the president. And perhaps, what's the worth of the projects, if you can give us an estimation, and what figures are we looking at out of TICAD in terms of business deals between Kenya and Japan?
I would say at this point in time, if you look at the project which we launched the other day, it's actually close to about 1.5 billion Kenya shillings. If you look at the port, again, we are talking, I can't figure it, but I think it's about 10 billion Kenya shillings. And if you see the project again, which is ongoing in Mombasa, we're close to about 7 billion Kenya shillings. So I think all in all, I think this figure is going up. And I think, again, during presentation, we see there have been some volumes in terms of business, some peaks, about 3 peaks actually, which have been high volumes, especially in investment in African countries. So, again, I want to put it forward that after this conference, I'll be looking forward in terms of volumes, in terms of project kind of proposals which are coming up, and we'll be looking higher kind of investment. Now, apart from that also, apart from being Japanese financing projects also, I think there'll be opportunity in terms of public-private partnership, which is again key within this sector. So there'll be private sector also who are interested in pairing with Japanese contractors or Japanese business investors, so that they can be able to progress on that front.
And finally, before we wrap it up on a PS, what are some of the key expectations Kenya has in terms of infrastructure, and what impact will TICAD have now that you're seeing a number of projects being rolled out, and of course you're also heading to an election. How soon can we close on a majority of the projects in the pipeline?
Yeah, I think, again, we are racing against time. But apart from that also, we are racing in terms of efficiency, in terms of effectiveness in most of our projects. And we did the other day, we say most of the projects will be closing in towards the end of July next year. Towards the later quarter of the part next year, we'll be completing Gong Road, we'll be completing most of the projects in Mombasa. And all the other projects, not necessarily financed by Japanese projects. But I want to put it clear again that as a ministry, as a government, we thank the Japanese government for most of these financing projects and the kind of project implementation which you have had with the peoples and the governments of Japan. So I think, again, we are looking forward, and especially after this conference, to be able to increase that kind of finance to finance major projects which are within the proposal stage. So that is my hopeful. Thank you.
And lastly, what's that one thing you'd like to see out of TICAD as the curtains come down on Sunday?
Yeah, I would like, there'll be a lot of major kind of decisions which will be made. But I think the key challenge is we really need to implement those kind of policies, those kind of commitments which we make after the conference, so that we have benefits, or we derive benefits actually to the Kenyan people and also the African continent at large. And we will be looking forward, especially in terms of implementation. And we'll be looking forward and we'll be actually expecting, and there are high expectation that within the next 2-3 years, there'll be a lot of volume of business again between Japan and African countries.
All right.
Our very